Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vice Versa Tarot. And it is created by, and fair warning, I will surely butcher this, Massimiliano Filodoro. Artwork by David Corsi, I think is how you say those. But I want you to see how you spell them, mostly. That way, if you want to find these creators, you can find them. And that's what that's about. This one, I'm even going to try to butcher this one, I guess, this time. Tori Hartman is the creator, illustrated by Gretchen Reich Baskin, I think. Again, I want you to be able to find the creators. That way, if you like their artwork or what they're putting together here, you can find other things by them. I know Tori has other stuff. I don't know about the rest of these people. So, at least not off the top of my head, I don't know. Who knows? I could have another deck and just not realize it. All of a sudden, I want my Halloween tarot. Where is that? I don't know. I'll find it. Just randomly going to put that out there. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Capricorn, for letting me do that. What do we got going on for Capricorn? Oh, this is the last one. All right, whoa. This may really go your way. This may be one of those situations that's not comfortable, but actually goes really well for you. Let's see. I mean, if it has to be uncomfortable, then it's uncomfortable. But if it at least goes your way, that's something, right? Starting off, you've got the back of the Hanged Man. There's the front of it. This is the back. And you got the Knight of Wands, and it's reversed. Which is... It's kind of like a very short pause is what I'm getting. It's kind of like it sounds like if you have a tempo going, a tempo going, a tempo going, and then it just pauses for like a good minute. Like a good minute. And it's kind of like, what's going on? So it's like, this is like a temporary pause. And what I'm getting with the back of the Hanged Man is kind of like, I think it's going to serve you, because when you're pausing and you're kind of stuck, you're like, oh. It's kind of like you're seeing things around you that you didn't notice. And you're like, it's kind of like being stuck at a traffic light that's like, almost like it's broken. It's like, it's staying there 3 times as long as it should be. It's just kind of like, is this thing broke? Are we going anywhere? Like, are we going anywhere? What you're seeing, what are you seeing? You're seeing the truth of something. And it's this pause that really you don't like. Like you don't like somebody to like, if you're putting something together and you're working on something, and then somebody turns off the lights on you or turns off the power, and you got deadlines you want to hit, you're like, oh, this isn't okay. I don't like this. So you're not enjoying it, but it's kind of like, I'm stuck. Like the power goes out, and you're trying to do work, and the power goes out, and you just, for some reason, you just don't have backup battery or whatever. It's just kind of like, oh. Or if the power goes out and you're using the internet or something, and the internet isn't just going to work with you at this point for whatever reason, it's kind of like that. Justice comes in. You see what you need to see. It's kind of like, you don't like this. It does. You're like, I have things I got to do, but Justice is saying, oh, you need to stop because you need to see what's happening here. This is going to change what you're doing. This is going to change how you feel. Now, this is a very curious connection. Because this is the back of the Nine of Swords. Is it the back? I don't know. I like how it feels, though. I really like how this feels. Because you don't like it. Ironically. The grief is here like, oh, I got things I got to do. Like, come on, power. Come back on. Come back on. I got things I got to do. But you see what's not working. You notice those 9 swords? They look like they're light. Like they're bright. They're kind of beautiful, in my opinion. And this person is looking at these swords and they're not really impressed with them, but these are like gifts, basically. You're seeing all the dents, all the shortcomings, all the problems, all of where this isn't working out the way it should be. You're seeing all the details. Like it's all like really bright right in front of you. Like, now that I have to sit here and I have to wait, I might as well make sure whatever else I got going on here is correct. And you're like, wait a minute, that person did what? This person did who? How did that get what? It's kind of like, why are they doing that? You're seeing all the flaws. This is to serve you. This is a good thing because it feels like if you see it now, it's better than getting to the end expecting like 100% outcome and getting like a 30% return. If you invest your money, actually, if you invest your money, you expect to get more back, right? But instead of getting that plus more, you're getting like 30% back, and they're saying before you get to that point where you get through all this work and do all these things and you only get a 30% return, how about we show you what's really happening so you don't have to do that? And this is not a moment that you like, but this is a moment that I can feel like you can appreciate, kind of like it's better than going even farther and getting worse in this situation. There's some negative energy you're dealing with, that's for sure. And you were really doing good with it. You have some really good cards here, actually, on your side. Your side is good. Whoever or whatever you're dealing with, I don't know about that. The King and Knight of Swords, they're both reversed. The King is looking like he's very focused on other things and causing issues. He's not even focused on you. The Knight seems to be trying to keep you in line. So it's like, I don't know if this is the same person or a different person. Like, it's almost like somebody's trying to keep you going. Like, stop looking behind the curtain. Like in The Wizard of Oz. Like, stop looking behind that curtain, Dorothy. Knock it off. Stop looking. You're cheating. And it's like, no, I need to know the truth here. No. What's going on? What I'm getting from this, when everything stops and you're in this pause, you see it. You just can't not see it. You're just like, I saw behind the curtain. And now that I've seen behind the curtain, I can't unsee behind the curtain. And I'm certainly not going to let it be just like that, because I'm not going to keep going for 30% return when I'm expecting 100% or better. I'm not going to do that. There's going to be a very strong communication, because what I'm getting happens is like, you're kind of shocked, but the thing is, this is the back of the Tower card. That's the front. The back of it, I'm a really big fan of, I gotta be honest with you, because if you see it, you can see all the flaws in the Tower. The Tower has not fallen yet, but you see all the flaws. You see everything that's missing. You're like, this isn't going to hold anything. This is going to fall in. This is going to implode soon, because I can see all the problems. It's like a twist of fate in your favor. You're seeing it. Your perception is on high. And you're taking that. Don't get caught up in the gender. Whatever gender you are, just it's saying you're like, not only do I see it, I'm not putting up with it. And it's emotionally, like, I have an emotional stake in this. Kind of like, oh no. No, we're not going to keep doing this. I see all the flaws now. I'm not going to put up with that. There is like a unhappy conversation. Because you just got to call it out. This other person, now, just to be fair, it doesn't mean they're a bad person, but the way they're seeing things is very flawed. So they may be very committed to the way they're doing things. They may even very well believe that they're doing the right thing. But the King of Swords upside down basically means they're not willing to hear anybody else. It's kind of like la 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 la. It's one of those things. So it doesn't mean they're a bad person, but they're not going to hear you. They have no interest in hearing you. I'm getting what's going to happen is, well, I almost want to say nothing, but that's not technically true. Because I feel like you're kind of like, all right, if that's how it is, I'm not putting my energy into this. I'm not going to put my energy into this like that. It's kind of like, you realize all this work is going into something that's never going to come to really fruition. Not really. And you're like, well, I'm not gonna put a lot of effort into this anymore. I mean, if I have to do some of this, almost like if it's a job thing and you have to be connected to this project and you realize it's going nowhere, you're like, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, I'll do what I have to do because I have to. But beyond that, that's it. I'm not even gonna put in the effort. The Chariot reversed is telling me you're not putting in the effort anymore. And if you have to just kind of like smile and nod, like, okay, you'll do the bare minimum. But the reason is because it's not going anywhere. And you're only doing what you have to, literally because you have to. I'm not going to put in energy where it's not going anywhere. It's kind of like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's kind of like I'm not going to work on fixing this car when the engine is just not fixable. We can't fix the engine. So why am I fixing everything else on the car when we're not going to fix the engine because we can't? And we're not going to replace that with another engine. Like, we're not going to replace it with another engine. The car's never going to go anywhere. I'm not going to fix everything else in the car. Like, if somebody's forcing me and they really want to, I'm like, I'll do the bare minimum because you're forcing me to, if it's a job thing especially. But that's it. I'm not going to, like, why? Why are we doing this? And the other side, the King of Swords reversed is like, la 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 la, no, nope, nope, la 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 la. They're not hearing you. They don't want to hear you. You might be having like, look, it's not going to go anywhere. Look, the engine is not usable. La 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 la. They don't want to hear it. This is going in two different places. There's this one's upside down. That's the right side up of the Emperor. This is like the back of it. Like, whenever it happens, there's going to be a point where they realize that, like, it's not going to happen. I don't know. The King of Swords has to make their own epiphany or realization. Their own realization. They're going to have to make their own realization that this is not going to happen. It's not going to go anywhere. This isn't going to work. That's the Fool card. That's like the dark side of the Fool card. Like, this is the front side. That's the back side. It feels to me kind of like... I almost feel like all this work was done to this car that can't go anywhere. And then they just kind of like, well, I guess we'll find a use for it later. And they just walk away from it. It's kind of like, I guess we'll just let it sit in the backyard. It'll find a use at some point. And they just kind of walk away from it. This card, now, I connect with Aries. My moon is Aries, so I don't want to be all negative about Aries. But every sign has its positive and dark side, right? Light and dark, positive, good, whatever. You don't want to approach this person about this situation. Let it be. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole is what I'm getting. Because they're going to be mean. And they're going to make it about other people. And they're going to start blaming people. Because they are really not happy that this didn't work out. So if that car, for example, ends up in the backyard and is just sitting there, just let it sit there. I would just keep it off. Don't even talk about it. I wouldn't even talk about it. Because that energy, this is a very harsh energy when it's in a bad mood. You know what I mean? There's certain signs when they're in a bad mood. And Aries, this is an Aries card. This doesn't mean this person's an Aries, but it's kind of giving me that vibe. When they're pissed off, you just get out of the way. They're one of those signs. And I feel like this is one of, like, you know, Aries is very fun when they're in a good mood. And very, like, you don't want to make an enemy of an Aries. They're kind of like Aries, Leo, Scorpio. Well, I don't know about Leo. Leo gets mad, and they blow up, but they get over it. Like, Aries, Scorpio, some of the earth signs are like that too. Like, once you piss them off, they'll get you. They'll remember. And this person's out of balance. So they're out of balance. So I don't feel like reasoning with them is going to work at this time. So just kind of like, I like Aries energy, so I'm not trying to like pick on a certain sign. So I'm trying to explain how, like, you're not gonna get through because they don't want you to. This situation will move on. It's gonna have to take time, and it's gonna be one of those things that just kind of sits there. But you got to leave it up to this person, this King of Swords reversed. It's up to them to deal with it on their own terms. You want to give it time because something else is going to come in to try to clean it up. Somebody else might stir that fire up a little bit, but let somebody else do that is what I'm getting. You just want to realize that that's not going anywhere. This is an interesting card because this is your card for how they're kind of giving you the advice to, like, if you want to stay happy, realize it's a problem, but like let somebody else stir that pot. Let somebody else stir that pot and just kind of do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's going to be like a really sore spot is what I'm getting. And you don't need to have that grief is what I'm getting. It doesn't really serve you. So you don't need that grief. Leave it. You can just watch it. When somebody else stirs the pot and it needs to be moved on, like, you know, we need to sell that hunk of junk, support it. Like, okay, I can support that. Just tread carefully. Realize it's a sore spot. And just leave it to this one, whoever that is. Leave it to them. It just, you don't need the grief. That's all I'm getting. You don't need the grief. All right. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.